Laudetur Jesus Christus. Praised be Jesus Christ, and a most warm welcome to all of you joining us. We're coming to you live from St. Peter's Square, where our Holy Father will shortly provide us with a greeting on this 15th Sunday in Ordinary Time and pray the Angelus with all of those here in the square and all of you joining us today. My name is Sister Bernadette. I will be providing the English language commentary and text for today, and I'd like to welcome all of you on behalf of Vatican Media. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us from whatever part of the world you're joining us, whatever time of the day or evening, morning. I'd like to acknowledge our partner television and radio stations. We have some of you tuning in through Catholic TV, Catholic Faith Network, Shalom World Television Networks, Salt and Light TV, EWTN, Radio Maria in England, Shalom TV in India, at Madarshan TV, and Luminous Radio. And we know many of you are joining us through our various Vatican Media platforms, some of you through the Vatican News website, the Radio Vaticana Live Events app, or the Vatican News app, and some of you through our other Vatican News social media channels, through our YouTube channel or our Facebook Live feed, and to those of you joining us through shortwave radio and the other diocesan radio stations and local radio stations making this broadcast possible. This past week should have been the week that our Holy Father visited the Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan. As we know, he has postponed that visit, but Cardinal Secretary of State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, paid a visit to these two countries, meeting with various people and in various places in Kinshasa and then in Juba. One person whom we interviewed there, a Father Okar, a Kamboni missionary, said that although the people there were initially, this is South Sudan, that the people were initially quite disappointed to hear the Pope had to postpone his visit, that in the end he said that the visit of Cardinal Parolin was a concrete sign of the Pope's concern for the people there. We also heard through Archbishop Gallagher, who provided an interview this week, that when the Holy Father has completed his visit to Canada, which takes place the last week of July, that the efforts of the Vatican will then turn to see if the Pope will be able to visit Ukraine. Archbishop Gallagher said he's very convinced that if the Pope is able to make the visit, that the Pope thinks that his visit would have positive results. Our Holy Father has come to the window, and we now prepare ourselves to hear what he has to say to us today, the 15th Sunday in Ordinary Time.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, buongiorno.
Dear brothers and sisters, buongiorno. The Gospel of today's liturgy recounts the parable of the Good Samaritan. We all know it. In the backdrop is the road that goes down from Jerusalem to Jericho, along which lies a man who had been beaten badly and robbed by brigands. A priest passing by sees him but does not stop. He keeps on going. A Levite, someone who performed services in the temple, does the same thing. But a Samaritan, the Gospel says, as he journeyed, came to where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. Let's not forget this word. He had compassion. This is what God feels every time he sees us in a problem, in a sin, or that we're feeling miserable. The evangelist makes it a point to specify that this Samaritan was on a journey. So that Samaritan, even though he had his own plans and was heading toward a distant destination, does not come up with an excuse, but allows himself to get involved. He gets involved with what had happened along the road. Let's think about this. Isn't the Lord teaching us to do just that? To look off into the distance to our final destination while paying close attention to the steps to take here and now in order to get there. It is significant that the first Christians were called disciples of the way. In fact, the believer strongly resembles the Samaritan. Like him, the believer is on a journey, is a wayfarer. The believer knows he or she is a person who has not arrived but wants to learn every day, following the Lord Jesus, who said, "I am the way and the truth and the life." I am the way. The disciple of Christ walks along following him and thus becomes a disciple of the way. He or she goes behind the Lord, is not sedentary, no, but is always on the way. Along the way, he or she meets people, heals the sick, visits villages and cities. This is what the Lord did. He was always on the way. The disciple of the way, that is us Christians, observes, therefore, that his or her way of thinking and of acting gradually changes, becoming more and more conformed to that of the Master. Walking in the footsteps of Christ, the disciple becomes a wayfarer, and like the Samaritan, learns to see and to have compassion. To see and to have compassion. First of all, to see. Their eyes are open to reality, not egoistically closed in on the circle of his or her own thoughts. Instead, the priest and the Levite see the unfortunate man, but they pass by as if they don't see him. They look to another side. They look away. The Gospel teaches us to see. It leads each of us to correctly understand reality. Overcoming preconceptions and dogmatism each day, many believers take refuge in dogmatisms to defend themselves from reality. Then, following Jesus teaches us to have compassion, to see and to have compassion, to become aware of others, especially those who suffer, those who are in need, and to intervene like the Samaritan, not to pass by, to stop. In the face of this gospel parable, it might happen that we might blame ourselves, that we might blame others or blame ourselves, pointing fingers towards others, comparing them to the priest or the Levite. This one doesn't stop, that one goes ahead. Or even to blame ourselves, counting our own failures to pay attention to our neighbors. But I would like to suggest another type of exercise to all of you, not that of trying to find fault. Certainly, we must recognize when we have been indifferent and have justified ourselves, but let's not stop there. Yes, we have to do that. That's not. Let us ask the Lord to help us overcome our selfish indifference and put ourselves on the way. Let us ask Him to see and to have compassion. This is a grace. We must ask the Lord, help me see. Help me have compassion as you see me and as you have compassion on me. This is the prayer that I suggest to you today. Lord, that I might see, that I might have compassion as you see me and have compassion on me. To have compassion on those whom we encounter along the way, above all those who suffer and are in need, to draw near to them and do what we can to give them a hand. Many times when I find some Christian who talks about spiritual things, I ask them if they give alms. Oh, sure, they tell me, and tell me, do you touch the hand of the person that you give the money to? Oh, no. I just throw it there. And do you look into the eyes of that person? Oh, no, that doesn't come to my mind. If you give alms, if you give money without touching or looking into the eyes of the person who's in need, that alms is for you. It's not for him. Think about this. Do I touch the misery? Even that misery that I help? Do I look into the eyes of the person who suffers, of the person that I'm helping? I leave you with that thought. To see and have compassion. May the Virgin Mary accompany us on this journey of growth. May she who shows us the way, that is Jesus, help us also to more and more become disciples of the way.
Et concepit de Spiritu Sancto.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ecce ancilla Domini.
Fiat mi secundum verbum tuum.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Et verbum caro factum est.
Et habitavit in nobis.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ora pro nobis, Santa Dei Genitris.
Ut digne ficiamur promissionibus Christi.
Gratiam Tuam quae sumus Domine, mentibus nostris infunde, ut che angelo nunziante, Christi Filii Tui, incarnationem coniovimus, per passionem eius et crucem, a resurrectione gloriam perducamus, per Christum Dominum nostrum.
Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper, et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper, et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper, et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Pro fidelibus defuntis, requiem aeternam dona eis Domine.
Et lux perpetua luceat eis.
Requiescant in pace.
Amen.
Sit nomen Domini benedictum.
Ex hoc nunc et usque in saeculum.
Aiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini.
Qui fecit caelum et terram.
Benedicat vos, omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen. Cari fratelli e sorelle,
Dear brothers and sisters,
mi unisco al dolore del popolo dello Sri Lanka.
I unite myself to the suffering of the people in Sri Lanka who continue to suffer the effects of the instability. I renew my appeal to peace to those who are in authority, not to ignore the cry of the poor and the necessities of the people. I want to direct a thought to the people of Libya, especially the young and those who are suffering because of the serious problems in the country. I urge everyone to seek resolutions with the help of the international community through constructive dialogue and reconciliation. I renew my nearness to the Ukraine people every day who are tormented by the brutal attacks that often involve the common people. I pray for families, especially for the victims, the wounded, the sick. I pray for the elderly and for the children. May God show them the way to put an end to this mad war.
Si celebra oggi
Today,
la Domenica del
the
Mare.
Sea Sunday is celebrated.
Ricordiamo tutti i
Let
marittimi
us
con stima,
recall
riconoscenza
all those who work on the
per il loro
sea,
prezioso
esteem them, and
lavoro,
recognize
come
them for
pure
their
i cappellani
work, as
volontari
well
degli
as
Stella
chaplains of Stella
Maris.
Maris
Affido
and
alla
those who work
Madonna i
with them.
marittimi che si trovano
We entrust
bloccati in zone di
to
guerra,
We
perché
entrust to
possano
Mary
tornare a casa.
seamen who are blocked in
Saluto
areas of
il
war.
gruppo del Collegio
I
São
greet
Tomás de Lisbona,
I greet the members of the Thomas of
fedeli
Lisbon
di
College,
Viseu,
the
Portogallo,
faithful of a place in
il
Portugal,
coro Siempre Así della Spagna,
a choir from Spain,
i giovani dell'Archidiocesi
young
di
people
Berlino,
from the Archdiocese of Berlin,
i ragazzi della
and boys and
Cresima
girls,
de Volga e
those
Bergamo.
receiving confirmation candidates from Bergamo.
Saluto ai pellegrini
I
polacchi
greet the Polish pilgrims
e lo stendo ai partecipanti
and
al pellegrinaggio annuale della famiglia di Radio Maria.
there's a pilgrimage going on involving Radio Maria. I greet the priests from various countries who are participating in a formation program for the formation of priests. I wish all of you a good Sunday. Please do not forget to pray for me. Enjoy your meal, and arrivederci. We'll see each other again. And with this, we now bring to an end our live broadcast of the weekly Sunday Angelus message and recitation of this prayer. I invite you to visit the Vatican News web portal, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube accounts. You'll find coverage of today's Angelus and other Vatican and world news. And we'll be back next Sunday for the same event. On behalf of Vatican Media, I'd like to thank Mario Scattone, our audio technician, and Jean-Charles Puzzolu, our technician, and all those who've made this broadcast possible: Catholic TV, Catholic Faith Network, Shalom World Television, Sultan Light TV, WTN, Radio Maria in England, Shalom TV at Madarshan TV, Luminous Radio, and of course, all of you for joining us today. Laudetur Jesus Christus. Praised be Jesus Christ.